Is this panic we're watching on Wall Street based on hard data or evidence or experience? What do I mean by that? First term, Donald Trump. Was he an enemy of Wall Street? Did he crash the market? No, the market grew 65% under Donald Trump. He basically repealed the Dodd-Frank Oversight Act. He deregulated. He cut taxes. He simplified. They loved him. Is it based on data that we've seen so far in his first 80 days? Unemployment? No, actually the job report came 100,000 jobs more than the government itself had predicted. So if it's not based on data points, and it's not based on what you could infer from his first term, and it's not based on his agenda in other areas or the world seeing, what is it based on? It's based on panic. It really is. Hello, this is Victor Davis Hanson for the Daily Signal. Speaking on a Monday that the market's gone down 300 points. It's about where we were 2 years ago, January of 2023. Remember, the market in the last two administrations, 8 years, has doubled in value. So it's not like this big collapse. But more importantly, is this panic we're watching on Wall Street based on hard data or evidence or experience? What do I mean by that? First term, Donald Trump. Was he an enemy of Wall Street? Is there a better alternative? Did he crash the market? No, the market grew 65% under Donald Trump. He basically repealed what Wall Street hated most, the Dodd-Frank Oversight Act. He deregulated. He cut taxes. He simplified. He stood up for American companies and their disputes over. They loved him.
Wall Street is losing its damn mind over Trump's new 125% tariff on Chinese imports. But let's get real for a second. This isn't about economics. It's about control. The elites are panicking. The media is fanning the flames, and the same people who made billions under Trump are suddenly acting like the sky is falling. Why? Because this trade war isn't just about money, it's about power, leverage, and who really runs this country.
Is it based on data that we've seen so far in his first 80 days? Unemployment? No, actually the job report came 100,000 jobs more than the government itself had predicted in March. Well, maybe it's inflation. It's got to be inflation. The Fed. No, the inflation rate as it annualized in March fell to about 2.6. It was 2.6 for the year. Well, maybe it's based on other things he's done that are chaotic. No, there were 10,000 people crossing the border. He said he was going to stop it. Biden said you had to have comprehensive immigration reform or it was impossible. There's zero. It's almost statistically insignificant. There's nobody crossing. He did that in 80 days. Well, maybe abroad, Donald Trump, he's as reckless with the trade as he was abroad. No. The Red Sea, for the first time in 4 years, is navigable. The Houthis are emasculated. They're descending to the status of Hezbollah and Hamas. The octopus itself in Tehran is terrified. They're sending back-channel messages to Trump to negotiate so they don't lose their nuclear plant. In other words, it's pretty stable. But how about Ukraine? No, Donald Trump is not doing what Joe Biden said. We're going to go as long as it takes. He's trying to find a ceasefire. We are closer now to stopping this 1.5 dead, wounded, missing, killed Stalingrad than we've been in 3 years. So if it's not based on data points, and it's not based on what you could infer from his first term, and it's not based on his agenda in other areas or the world seeing, what is it based on? It's based on panic. It really is. It's based on what we saw in 1929. It's what we saw in 2008, where Wall Street goes into a fit of hysteria. Part of it is fed by left-wing street theater, media hysterics, which they feel will help their counterparts, their soul mates in Europe, so they can put pressure on Donald Trump to end. I want to finish with just two considerations. They're very important. 10% of Americans, the elite, they own somewhere between 88 and 93% of the market value in the stock market. Think of that. So what we're talking about is the mass hysteria of investors, of academics, of media, of lawyers, of wealthy people, the professional classes. In contrast, 50% of Americans 160, 170 million people. They have 1% market capitalization. Their wages only went up 35%, not doubled like the stock market did over the last two. It was a good rise. It was impressive. But if the stock market had gone up 35% instead of doubled and wages had gone up 100, then you might see them a little bit more interested.
Under Trump, the market grew 65%. Inflation is under 3%. Job numbers are beating expectations. So what's the real reason for the panic? Because Trump's not playing by the old rules. He's saying, match our tariffs or get taxed. Fair game. And for once, that puts America first, not multinational corporations or global elites. The people screaming loudest, they're the ones with 90% of the market. Lawyers, bankers, media moguls. Meanwhile, everyday Americans only hold 1%, and their wages actually rose under Trump. So this panic, it's a class-based meltdown, not an economic crisis, and it exposes the double standard. When Trump helps the working class, Wall Street flips.
Another final consideration. Donald Trump sold this trade readjustment on reciprocity. Indeed, 70 countries are now willing to negotiate. But for this first round, he's got to keep to that. If there's a country like Israel or Australia that either has similar tariffs to our own or is running a deficit with us, and this first round, he should let them go. And if a country says, we want no tariffs and we'll match you 0 to 0, he should take it. Now, you're going to say, finally, well, Victor, they have excise taxes. They put phony security and health regulations to intentionally block American imports, and that is a tariff of sorts. They use money I know all that. But that's for round two. Right now, at this moment in time and space, it's very important to keep people on your side. And the only way you're going to do that is reciprocity, equality, whatever they do, we do, parity. We can work out all the hidden machinations our trading partners use under the word safety, health, tax, value add. That doesn't matter. Right now, he's got to at least say in round one, if you don't have a tariff on us, we won't have a tariff on you. And he'll get his $300 to $400 billion anyway from the countries that resist.
Let's call it what it is. Wall Street's tantrum is a fear of losing grip, not fear of a failing economy. Trump's trade war isn't reckless. It's strategic. He's using economic leverage, not bombs. And if other countries want peace, they can drop their tariffs and match ours. This isn't chaos. This is recalibration. The trade war just got real, and it's about time someone played to win. Trump's not panicking, and neither should we. Like, comment, and hit subscribe for more no BS breakdowns. Stay sharp.